Okay, it's kind of looking like we ended up putting in that third push up as we were talking about. Um, and we're also possibly building a channel here following this spike. So this is what we're looking for now. And I think, like we said, if we acknowledge this as the beginning of the channel, this level, um, then presumably when we do break out of this channel, we should have a retest of this level and then have a long opportunity. And it's kind of looking like it may come sooner than we drew it over here. I don't know if that wasn't temporally based necessarily. That was just the level. Um, and within this channel, we kind of have this sort of structure here. Maybe something like this. And when this breaks through, bears or bulls are no longer at all in control. No reason to do that because we just kind of have this trend channel line connecting these three, right? So somewhat of a wedge shape on these with these smaller time frame lines. So not unreasonable now to see another leg down. We would consider this to be one leg and this to be second leg. Altogether one leg, sideways consolidation, second leg down. Bulls will be looking for a bounce at the double bottom that coincides with the bottom of this channel, and bears will of course be looking for a further dump. This is also the second attempt by bears to reverse since bulls took the second shot up. Obviously, we had this first super strong trend here, right? And we broke through that trend and started a retest, a test of the high, which ended up being a higher high test. And that higher high test, of course, has its own trend line that gets violated, puts in two legs, and then we put a two-legged test of this high up. So that puts in that third push up, and bears get active on the second attempt to push higher, following the second attempt of the higher high test. If that makes sense. Does that make sense? So this was the first push up. This is where bears were first able to start entering shorts, and they didn't. I wouldn't say they really made a profit at all. They just had a very small pullback, and then we had a test of the high. This test, then being as strong as it is here, warrants a second test here. And once this move completes and is rejected, this whole second move up as a test of this is completed, and we now have the higher high test in two legs, right? Two-legged higher high test of the spike high. And now we're looking for a sort of correction here. So let me just pause it real quick and clear the charts. Okay, my bad. I just want to clear off a couple things off the thing. It's been like a minute or two, so I'll go whatever. So we have completed this move, I think, here, and we're starting to put in a bearish, a correction at the very least, potentially a bearish move. Bears have this nice trend line that they're looking to probably hold, especially to try and get through this low, pretty important low, I would say. Definitely do not want, I mean, it's a double bottom, right? And it's already starting to look like a potential double bottom bull flag, such that if in the next, after this candle closes 2 minutes, if the next candle trades above it, I would think that seems like a pretty decent chance to start making a push back to the high of the channel, and that maybe this is just the low of the channel. Maybe even like we could still even get a low test and then go, but this is a pretty decent show of strength by bulls at this kind of crucial level that they definitely want to hold. Bears really shouldn't be allowing this to happen. And like really after this, for this correction to be this sideways, it starts to look like when you have just this little correction, it's like 2 bars, and this bar has already begun the process of starting the dump. Then you can kind of consider it as an extension of this move. But when you get this, like already this is doji potential reversal bar. This bar looks to put in the higher high doji or reverse to confirm the reversal. This bar absolutely confirms the reversal by trading above this with such confidence that it opens at its low and closes basically at its high. And then this bar ends up closing very high, but we have a strong dump. Well, this strong dump right here seems more like the extension of this move. Let me clear some of these things off so it makes it more easy to understand. In the same way that this was a bearish momentum move, followed by this bearish momentum move, and only separated by this tiny little bar of profit taking, and I guess this also tiny little bar of profit taking, it feels very much like it's all part of one move. Whereas when you have this 3, you can even call it 4 candles of separation, it feels a little bit more, especially if you draw this kind of trend line and you see that we've broken through this trend line, this definitely starts to feel more like when this move begins here, excuse me, that it is not the extension of this move, that it is possibly this whole thing is one leg and we're now beginning the second leg. And this wick here in particular, obviously in a lower time frame, this whole thing is going to have been like this, and strong Chad candle up, and then, oops, that was not really what we wanted to do, but yeah, then this. That's this candle right here. So this ends up being a truncated move, a truncated attempt to test this low. And I would consider that to be part of this move, especially if it was to continue. But as is, um, when we end up getting this dump down here and closing up at the top, and then taking another dump, it makes it feel like this is all one correction, and what this is correcting is this entire move, not just this part of the move. So for bears to now push this down and then get stopped, rebuffed again here, and to see that bulls last time were able to put in 3 pretty strong candles and pretty convincing candles, right? That there's some bullish strength here. Like definitely traders are willing to buy here, and sellers definitely needed to cool off for a little bit. Sellers might have been even taking profits in probably this area and probably down here, right? Shorts might start closing once they start seeing the bullish strength here. But bulls let the bears know that, hey, we're here. We're going to try and claim this region as a buying territory, the same way we had it as a buying territory last time we were here. And not only that, but we're also now at this low point of the channel. So a lot of reasons to, and yeah, this is a higher time frame double bottom with this. So let's take a look at that. In fact, we've been just analyzing this on a 5-minute chart. We haven't even talked about the 1-hour chart yet. But yeah, kind of making a micro double bottom here with these 2 candles, but also making a double bottom, potentially bull flag, presumably bull flag with this. So definitely looking for a bounce at this level to the upside. Yeah, maybe about 1% or so. And I would definitely be looking to take profits near the top of the channel, or probably even somewhere around here. Partial profits, lock in some partial profits just in case this is the break of the channel and we're just getting a retest of the high and then a dump lower. But just that would be purely based on the fact that we have had already 3 pushes, 1, 2, 3 pushes up here. And so I would kind of think that if we get another push up here, then these 3 pushes would be invalidated as a reason to be looking to sell /short. So then I would probably be thinking like if we make it back up here, we might even get one or two more pushes up before we do that again. Maybe this would be considered as the first push, and then two push, three push, and then we dump. But I would not think that this certainly would not be considered. And this probably would also not be considered depending on the way that we get there, because this is pretty strong all the way to the bottom of the channel, and for us to get all the way back up to the top of the channel, it's a big move. So you'll also notice that this is the first time that we've been to the bottom of the channel. We don't even have 3 points of contact with the bottom of the channel. If you want 3 points of contact, it becomes this wedge. So looking for a bullish breakout above this level now here on the 5 minute to take a shot at the high with a stop below this double bottom. But this candle obviously nice strong hello from the bears. So if they are able to take control of the market in this region, we'd like to see what they can do. Can they breach the double bottom? Can they breach this double bottom? Can they start taking a shot at this low? If they start taking a shot at this low, like I said, not really looking for shorts right now. Or maybe I haven't said that yet. But yes, not really looking for shorts right now because, look, we're clearly in a bit of a... Let me delete some of these lines and I'll pause it again. That was a mistake. I don't remember what I was saying. We're clearly in a, but what? What are we clearly in? I don't remember what I was saying. But yeah, not really looking for, oh yeah, we're clearly in a channel here, right? We're clearly in a bearish kind of channel. Had this channel here. How hard is it to make it look like this kind of thing? So not really looking for shorts. This bearish channel should become a bull flag of some sort. Either we break out here and it's the bull flag to continue out upward, or we break lower and then possibly break up from here. That's how you would be looking to play this channel. But I think that once if bears continue lower, I think there's a reasonable chance that once we break these lows here and the low of this channel, that we're going to retest this level. And I wouldn't be looking for a short there because just a couple $100, it's like 0.5%. But from here, it would line up a nice long with the double bottom here, such that if we got something that kind of looked like this, I would be thinking, yes, it's time to buy. In the same way that it was time to buy over here, right? So that's kind of what it's looking like on low time frames. That's kind of the trade that we're looking to take right now here. And yeah, probably two, maybe a little lower than this. Something like that. Kind of depends on when we get there and how far the channel can still extend. And like, if we really disrespect this channel hard, then like, I'm not really expecting necessarily that we might get all the way to the top of the channel. Like, if we break out of the channel here, then this goes off the chart. We don't really care about it anymore. We might just look for a target of the last high, which would be here. Also the low of this region. And then, of course, probably second target will be this high. And anything that you hold past that, you're just taking profit wherever it starts to make sense to you. So yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at on these low time frames. On these higher time frames, maybe we could see something like a drop all the way down here where we might find a buy. We'd be probably looking for this zone, at least a pullback, right? We'd be looking for some sort of pullback from here to kind of see how that goes. So we'll see. I think on these higher time frames, it's looking a little bit more and more like it's possible that the bears might start taking control. We're kind of in a tight-ish channel here this whole time on these high time frames. I know it doesn't really look like that on low time frames, but it's pretty clear to see here, yeah. So if we break out of it, same kind of thing. If you call this candle the spike and this the beginning of the channel, this seems to be a pretty reasonable level to look for a double bottom pullback and for a shot at higher levels. So that's kind of what we're looking at on this time frame, and probably as well on the 4-hour time frame. Yeah, just waiting for a pullback and seeing how do we respond to a pullback. Yep.